voice of reason. Indescribable yet pleasing. What's the scoop today in your battle for truth, justice, and the American way? Home health and politics, conspiracy theories or karate kicks, intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. But tell them not to call unless they got something to say. What's the word for now? Can you tell me how? Will our team win? I guess it depends on what shape they're in. Home health or politics, conspiracy theories or cement bricks, intelligent discussions on the issues of the day. Tell them not to call unless they got something to say.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you're really cool.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You ain't nobody's fool.
Hello, Uncle
You live by the golden rule. When there's a fiery discussion, you supply the fuel. Man, you're really hip.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
You don't take no lip.
Hello, Uncle Henry.
Man, you got it under control. If there's one thing you got, it's a lot of soul. All the thing we like about you, Uncle Henry, if you have a caller who's particularly pugnacious, quarrelsome, contentious, belligerent, truculent, or scathingly harsh, you simply disconnect the lines of communication. Oh, yeah. In other words, you hang up on the fool. Yeah. You're the Duke of Decorum, the Prince of Propriety, the Emperor of Excellence, the Sultan of Sensibility, and the Maharaja of Magnificence. Ba-do-do-do-do-do.
Uncle Henry.
Oh, yeah.
This is WNTM. From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Crews are still on the scene of an accident with injury and road blockage. Racetrack Road at Washington Street in Fort Walton Beach. Also, heavy congestion is developing south on I-65 in Mobile. We've got an accident in the right lane approaching Airport Boulevard. From 165 to I-10, it's an 8-minute delay. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. Fall for a brooding duke. Dive into a steamy romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas. Or find the perfect rom-com from Lily Chu. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Henry, do not forget the elderly during this holiday season.
Message deleted.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
Roll Tide, roll, Uncle Henry.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you. I appreciate very much you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I really do. Once again, here we are together, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? You can call me. Yeah, you can bring something up here. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Here we are together, me and you on a Friday. And the holiday season picking up. It feels even earlier than last year for the holiday season getting going. Now, and I say that because I believe tonight is the first night of Magic Christmas and Lights at Bellingrath. Yeah, they're going early there at Bellingrath. So Bellingrath Gardens doing Magic Christmas and Lights. And tonight you've got an event in downtown Mobile in Mardi Gras Park. It started at 5:30. It's underway right now. It is the City of Mobile's Lighting of the Tree. Now, I'm on their official website, the cityofmobile.org. In case you ever want to go to the official City of Mobile website, it's cityofmobile.org. And there I am. And I know they say Santa Claus is going to be there, that he was supposed to arrive just a few minutes ago there at Mardi Gras Park in downtown Mobile. The reason I'm bringing this up, though, is I was looking on cityofmobile.org, the special Lighting of the Tree page, and I can see that it's called the Lighting of the Tree. Now, it's not the Christmas tree. It's just a tree. The lighting of the tree. In fact, I'm looking at all this. I've looked over this page. Let's see, it says here, City of Mobile's Lighting of the Tree, 5:30 to 8:30, Mardi Gras Park. The holiday season starts here. Enjoy performances, crafts. And by the way, if you're looking for a good time, got to have a craft involved. Enjoy performances, crafts, inflatables, food trucks, local vendors, and photos with Santa, plus a magical tree lighting. Now, the word Christmas nowhere is just not on there. No Christmas mentioned on this. And I don't know why that would be. I also looked at the City of Mobile at cityofmobile.org. Also looked at their page for the Lodi Art Walk that is coming up December 12th. Now that says the word Christmas on that. It says we're celebrating Christmas at the Lodi Art Walk. But this is different tonight. No Christmas mentioned. Now Santa will be there. Maybe Santa represents other holidays that I don't know about. I've spent almost my entire life here, so I don't know a lot about the world in which we live. Maybe there's some other holidays that Santa Claus is involved in other than Christmas. But Christmas, maybe for next year with a new city council and a new mayor, maybe we can ask, hey, can you throw us a bone? For those of us that still observe Christmas, could you just throw us a bone and call it a Christmas tree next year? And if it offends some people, maybe you could take a year off, and then the next year you could go back to calling it just the magical tree or whatever this is. Maybe just next year, throw me a bone. Just throw me a bone. Call it the Christmas tree next year instead of just the tree, the lighting of the tree. Because otherwise, if you're just going to call it the tree and we're having the lighting of the tree, well, why not have it? Why not light it every month? People like lighting up trees. They do. In fact, there's lots of ceremonies all along the Gulf Coast. I think they're doing it in the Sims tomorrow. They did it in Fairhope last night. If it's just going to be the tree and not the lighting of the Christmas tree, then why not have a monthly lighting of the tree? Or quarterly. Have our quarterly tree lighting. Another excuse to have crafts and inflatables down in there. Just a thought. Just throw me a bone. New council, new mayor. Think about it. Just maybe every other year you can call it a Christmas tree. Now this reminds me of many years ago. Was it over 20 years ago? You might remember we used to have a Christmas parade, and they called it the Christmas parade. And there was a huge controversy over 20 years ago when the people that were involved with the Christmas parade decided to change the name of it and call it the holiday parade. And people did. Back 20 years ago, people still stood up for Christmas, and they were mad. They had to compromise. And they ended up calling it the Christmas and Holiday Parade. That was back when we could afford parades that weren't Mardi Gras related. Anyway, just if you could throw me a bone, call it if it's okay to call the art walk a Christmas art walk, I don't know why it wouldn't be okay to call it a Christmas tree. But anyway, I know you're concerned about other things like the fall of Western civilization, which we continue to watch. We'll get into all of that as the Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM. And if you're not downtown yet, there's still time. The celebration of the tree, the non-Christmas tree that's being lit up, that goes on until 8:30 tonight. I don't know what kind of craft they have for you to participate in. Maybe you could go down there and learn how to crochet or something. They got inflatables to waller around in, all that fun going on down there at Mardi Gras Park.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
In Mobile, watch for congestion in both directions of I-65 near Airport Boulevard. It looks like we've got an accident in both directions there. Also, if you're traveling in Milton, we've got a disabled vehicle in the roadway, Highway 87 at Stubbs Road. Crews are also on the scene of a crash on Highway 90 at Okaloosa Lane in Crestview. With Time Saver Traffic,
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in on YouTube. Hello to Pat Nelly, KP of shirtbutter.com, Excalibur Iron Force, Bama Big Man, The Moon Fairy, whoever else is watching, whatever is going on in your life, bless your heart. And I mean that in a good way. Have a wonderful whatever it is you're up to. Well, let's see, what can I tell you about during the commercial break? Be back on the radio here in about 3 minutes. What can I tell you about? In fact, this will be a good time for me to go back to the weird news file. I didn't see a lot of good weird news today. There were no further bear stories out of Japan. Let me see here in the weird news file. Let's see, college students in England at the University of Staffordshire are angry because they signed up for a course. Let's see, they signed up for a coding module that they were told was going to be part of a government-funded apprenticeship program designed to help them become cybersecurity experts or software engineers. So they got very excited and they signed up for it. These students did in England. And it turned out to be taught, the class itself was taught by artificial intelligence. And they are very angry. They said that they are upset. They feel like they wasted 2 years on a course that they said had been done in the cheapest way possible, taught by AI. So they feel ripped off. You know, that's something we've heard about AI going to transform everything. It's going to transform everything. And right now, all it seems to be is a ripoff. They're putting it in a teddy bear. You put AI in the teddy bear and it starts telling your kids where to find the knives in the house. So far, it hadn't been good. So far, it hadn't been good. All right, let's see what else. It turns out Generation Z is just as bad as the elderly at picking passwords for their computers. According to some type of global study on passwords, Generation Z, their most popular password in the world is 12345. So Generation Z just as bad at picking a password for a computer as people my age. And also they're being criticized for, even when they did use words like the word password, they didn't capitalize the P, and so they're getting poor marks on even that. Let's see, back on the radio here in about 30 seconds. I guess I got to figure out stuff to talk about.
Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Looking for affordable blinds, shades, or shutters for your home? Don't hire an expensive pro. Check out Blindster.com, where we offer custom-made window coverings at guaranteed low prices with a team of pros ready to help you every step of the way. Blindster.com.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM. Telephone number to call the Uncle Henry Show is 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let's see, the mayor of New York, Mayor-elect of New York, Mr. Mamdani, went and met with President Trump in the Oval Office. You may have seen or heard some of that today. Very interesting meeting. I have some of that for you I want to share with you. But before I get to that, quickly, a voicemail. It's rare that I would get New York-oriented voicemails, but I have ever since the election of Mamdani. Here is a New York-related voicemail.
Hannah, this hair is different. Hannah, did you see that the New York has their own Muslim version of the polices?
No, I have not. Whatever you're about to tell me about a Muslim version of the police in New York, I do not know about.
Hannah, they got a Muslim police force already patrolling the streets of New York, telling people they can't drink alcohol on the street because it's a Muslim area. And you know what I say, Henry? I say good, because there is nothing better than to watch daggum liberal Democrats have their unforeseen consequences blow up in their face. You know, Henry,
I'm sorry to pause Buford there. Now, I have not heard about this yet. Buford is making the claim that there are a Muslim police force going through the streets of the city of New York telling people they can't drink alcohol because it's a Muslim area or something like that. Now, Buford, I would want to wait and see, are they effective? Just curious, because oftentimes the police are not effective in New York. So maybe let's watch it. Who knows? Maybe they can figure out a way to police more effectively. I'm just saying. Let's watch and see. Let's see what happens. See, I'm remembering when I went to New York a couple of years ago, and there was a point where I didn't know if I was going to be attacked or not, because a very aggressive panhandler in Times Square asked for money. I think the guy was dressed like Michael Jackson. And I told him no quite forcefully, and the guy started screaming at me and told me that I was going to have to leave. He tried to throw me out of Times Square. And I thought this would have been a nice time to have a police officer step up and say, hey, what's going on? What's going on, Michael Jackson? Anyway, let's wait. Let's see, Buford, and see how they do. All right, back to the message.
It was 85% of white women voted for that terrorist to be mayor of New York, and I cannot wait until one of his Sharia law policemen, knock one of them independent, strong women back in line. And all them other liberal weirdos. I tell you what, Henry, they're about to get cracked in the head, upside the head with a daggum Sharia law baton, and then wonder how it got that way. Anyway, Henry, only time will tell how this shakes out. You have a good day.
Buford, thank you very much for your voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. Now, it made me, when you were saying that you mentioned you said all them other liberal weirdos up there. I wonder if New Yorkers have a talk show they can call where they complain about those other conservative weirdos down there in Alabama. Do you think they do that? Do you think they call the New York talk show and complain about us? Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I called you a couple months ago. This is the non-Floridian that called about being disenfranchised about the voting precincts.
Yes.
I'll land the plane. Yeah, I did have to do a little research, but I found out that the elections are different when it's local and, or like it's different. But I found my right precinct and I did vote. And another thing, and I'm not going to be downtown for the lighting of the Christmas tree. I'm going to be staying at home, eating my big old pot of chicken soup that I've been cooking today. And hopefully everybody has a blessed holiday and a good Thanksgiving. And remember, spend time with your family and friends.
Yes.
And remember what the holidays are all about. Thank you so much for Uncle Henry. I love your show. Listen every day. You got some characters that call in, and Cliff's my hero, by the way, Clifford. And anyway.
Hey, before you go, I got to ask a quick question before you go, because
yes, sir.
And the listener will find this probably bizarre, but my wife and I have been attempting to come up with chicken soup recipes and do chicken soup, and I'm just curious what you put in your chicken soup.
Well, it's pretty basic for me. I put 2 big Vidalia onions, 1 washed and trimmed entire pack of celery, and in a bag of diced up carrots, 1 package of chicken broth, 1 chicken bouillon cube, and 3 chicken thighs, and it is absolutely delicious. I cooked the thighs first and everything, brown them up, and then put the veggies in and the broth and a little bit of water on top of that. And I didn't have to season it a bit, and it is delicious.
And no rice or noodles?
Well, I was in a hurry last night. I'm cooking my noodles right now to actually throw in there to substantiate it a little bit. But it's pretty simple. I wasn't feeling good yesterday, and I said, you know what? I'm going to make me a big old kettle of chicken soup, and some people call it like Southern penicillin or whatever, but it was delicious, and I feel much better. And I'm just glad I'm not downtown right now. I mean, I don't want to be a downer, but I'm just happy at home sometimes, and I'm fine, just recovering. If I was feeling better, I might be down there to watch the lighting of the tree.
All right. Well, great. Hey, thank you very much for telling me about your soup.
Well, that and I'm not disenfranchised, and roll tide.
Roll tide, roll. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your phone call. What a wonderful Friday call. Now, you, the listener, you may be out and about listening in your car. You may be driving around looking for some bar to jump in. You just got off work and you're driving to find some bar. You can go get a big old drink in there or something. Some people are making soup. Yes, some people are, and they're perfectly content. You heard that man. He sounded content. He was living in the United States of America. He was listening to AM radio. He was putting together some soup and discussing it with another person What a wonderful. Thank you for that phone call. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. I'm fixing to go to the news break, so I don't have time for another great phone call. But when we come back from the break, I'll take other calls should they flow in, and if they shan't, then I've got more for you. I've got some of the President Trump with Mamdani to talk about. I've got something I've got numerous complaints about the federal government that I can get into. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of stuff to talk to you about after the news break. So please continue to listen. And if you are bored, just leave the show on the radio and walk out of the room.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
If you're traveling southbound on I-65, an accident was cleared near Airport Boulevard. If you're traveling from 165 to I-10, it's a 9-minute drive. Watch for some congestion developing on Highway 59. From I-10 to Gulf Shores, it's a 51-minute drive. North on Highway 31 from Spanish Fort to Highway 59, it's a 15-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's early Black Friday deals are going fast. Get up
early Black Friday deals. I've been seeing Black Friday deals all month. I think isn't now everything on sale all the time? One of the changes brought to our lives after the pandemic. Oh, the news.
Todd Bond was indicted on federal charges of mail theft. Bond was arrested in October by the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and initially charged with first-degree theft of property. He was accused of stealing packages while dressed as a woman. Deputies say they found the stolen packages in his car. The Florida Highway Patrol says a Pensacola man has been charged after a crash killed 2 pedestrians. It happened in July near Perdido Key Drive and River Road in Escambia County.
I'm sorry to interrupt the news, but they said the man was stealing mail while dressed as a woman. Now, was that a disguise, or is it just how he feels about himself? I need more info.
Is now facing vehicular homicide charges. Investigators say an arrest has not been made, but Neesmith has been cooperating. The Sheriff's Office says Neesmith was a deputy, but is no longer working for them. A Mobile County judge dismissing a legal challenge to a Mobile City Council election. William Carroll, who lost re-election for his District 2 seat, argued Samantha Ingram should be removed from office because she did not meet the residency requirement. Carroll's attorneys argued the one-year requirement in the Zogby Act applies. Ingram's attorneys maintained the more recently passed statewide law required residency for only 90 days. The judge agreed, saying the more recent law takes precedence. Now it's unclear whether Carroll intends to appeal. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeart radio station.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump meeting with New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani at the White House today. Mamdani asked about a rise in anti-Semitism in New York City and claims that he himself is anti-Semitic.
I care very deeply about Jewish safety, and I look forward to rooting out anti-Semitism across the 5 boroughs and protecting Jewish New Yorkers and every New Yorker who calls the city home.
President Trump congratulating Mamdani for running what he called an incredible race, and said he feels very confident that he'll do a good job as mayor. Republican New York State Assemblyman Jake Blumenkrantz, he serves with Mamdani and says on the Fox News channel,
I think he is genuinely concerned with the state of the city, and I think that if we have cooperative government, that's good. But we got to be on guard. We got to be ready for if Zohran's policies, as he said them during the campaign, are really as problematic as they have been.
Mamdani says he has disagreements with President Trump, but hopes they can come together to bring costs down for New Yorkers. America's listening to Fox News.
All right. You can tell they love Mamdani. They love reporting on. There's many, many other things that happen in the world today and in our country, but they wanted to make sure that that 1 minute was filled with Mamdani. All right. Let's see. Let me first look to see, is there anybody still watching? Yeah, a small number. It's a Friday, and there's people watching on a Friday. That's really, I'm just always shocked. Well, I'm shocked when anybody watches, but on a Friday, Richard Harvey, the Moon Fairy. Hey, Moon Fairy, I will be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I want to make sure I'm here Wednesday to play the Nick Saban. I've got a Nick Saban clip of him talking about his favorite food at Thanksgiving. I want to make sure I play that. But yes, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Pat Nelly marching band bumper music. I used to have a bunch of it, and then the company told me to play officially licensed music so that we won't get sued. So let's see. Let me find some. Now, this is. Here is some. Let me see. You want me to play that? You want me to play that? Was that all right? Pat Nelly, was that okay? Because that's the only I think I've got a couple other ones. All right, I'm putting it in. I'm changing out from the original bumper music. All right, here we go.
Listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio to Mix 99.9, the Christmas station.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM. You can also watch me on YouTube. Now, it's not exciting. I'm not dancing. I'm not doing any flips or karate chops or nothing. I'm just standing here just struggling. Just standing here struggling, trying to maintain the broadcast, trying to continue to maintain employment. Now, this bumper music was requested by one of the YouTube viewers. Quinelli Patrick asked for marching band music in the YouTube chat, and also hello to Rick Kennedy watching in Satsuma. Thank you for watching in Satsuma on YouTube. In fact, congratulations on living in Satsuma, which is really a hidden treasure. I've mentioned for years that it's on a list. If things go poorly for me in the city limits of Mobile, I've got a list of municipalities that I would flee to. Satsuma's in the top 3. It is. Satsuma's a top 3 that I would flee to if things go bad for me in the city limits of Mobile. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Now, in the last segment of the show, was talking about President Trump meeting with Mom Donnie, the mayor of New York, the mayor-elect of New York. If you probably have already heard this, but I want to play this because I found this fun. A reporter asked Mom Donnie if he still thinks that President Trump is a fascist, something like that.
You asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Mm-hmm. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist? And then...
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
So President Trump says to him, it's okay. You can say it. He didn't care if he called him a fascist or not. President Trump didn't care. I enjoy those kind of moments because there's lots of posturing going on all the time, especially with the way that President Trump handles these type of things, where there'll be insults flying one day, And you've seen it happen on the world stage with big world leaders. He'll insult somebody one day, and then 2 days later, he talks about how great they are. So, Mamdani and President Trump, it went kind of the way I thought it would have gone. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartradio.com. Now, I'd like to take a quick moment to complain about the Congress. Because it is, when I complain about the Congress, it does make me feel better. It's a form of therapy to complain about our Congress. Now, I'm going to complain that today the House had a resolution condemning socialism. And it passed. The House. Now, there were some Democrats that voted for the condemnation of socialism and some that voted against the condemnation of socialism. Here is Fox News briefly reporting on the resolution.
Democrats are pretty evenly split. About 98 of them voted against this. 85 Democrats voted yes. It's a big message, huge message to Democrat Socialist Zohran Mamdani as he makes his way to the White House later today. And when he was asked about it actually at the airport about...
All right, that's enough. So this was a message to the mayor of New York. They had to pass a resolution condemning socialism to send a big message. You heard her say it's a big, big message. Is it really? No. In fact, all the time they've been gone, government shut down, House wasn't even in town. Think about all the things they haven't done. Think about it. If you think that any of the President Trump executive orders are good ideas, how many of those executive orders has the House tried to turn into permanent law? I bet you could sit down with a legal pad and write out a long list of things you wish the Congress would do. And they can't seem to find the time to do a dadgum thing except this kind of stuff. This symbolic garbage that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Do you think that, you heard the reporter, this is a big message. Really? You think Mamdani is going back to Manhattan tonight and just shaking? Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe they condemned socialism. They've really sent me a message. Maybe I shouldn't be a socialist no more. Come on. Can they not do anything? I would rather them not be there if they're going to do stupid stuff. If they're going to do stupid stuff that doesn't matter, why not just start passing, make these resolutions every day? You know, I had the caller in the last half hour of the show calling about a soup. Could we do a resolution that declares chicken soup to be the superior soup in this country over all other soups? Make it have just as much impact as what they did today, which was performative nonsense. Stupid. I guess the one thing they can do is fundraise off of it. And go run for re-election and say, well, you look what I'm doing. I stood up there in that Congress and I sent a big message by resolving that socialism is bad. Now, can you donate to my campaign? The Congress seems ever more lacking in substance, ever more useless as each year goes by. I just comparing to previous Congresses, just seems even less useful than ever before. Look, I apologize for being so cynical on a Friday, but when I see that when they had all this time that they were off, and they will continue to be off a lot. It's not a really hectic schedule when you're up there. And this is the best they can do. They can actually do something real. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Let's see, but there was one other national story that I wanted to mention to you. There was a rapper sentenced today for illegally channeling millions of dollars in foreign money to President Obama in his re-election campaign. Now, here's another report from Fox, real quick.
The Fugees rapper Pras Michel was sentenced.
The rapper from the Fugees, Pras somebody.
To 14 years in prison Thursday.
Sentenced to 14 years in prison yesterday.
For illegally funneling millions in foreign money into President Obama's 2012 election campaign. A federal jury convicted him in April of 2023 on 10 counts, including conspiracy and acting.
So the reason I'm even sharing this with you, 2012, this allegedly happened in 2012. Then a jury finds him guilty several years ago. I mean, this case has taken so long, the guy's not famous anymore. I mean, when they were charging him, back when the crime was going down, people knew who he was. A lot of people don't even know who he is now. That's how long it's taken. That's how long it's taken to get to this. I mean, what if he were innocent? You want to have a fake accusation hanging over you for over 10 years? If you're guilty, you get 10 years to still be out and free and run around. And if you're innocent, you got to go through that process for over 10 years to clear your name. That's also a ridiculous joke.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
If you're traveling southbound on I-65, an accident was cleared near Airport Boulevard. If you're traveling from 165 to I-10, it's a 9-minute drive. Watch for some congestion developing on Highway 59. From I-10 to Gulf Shores, it's a 51-minute drive. North on Highway 31 from Spanish Fort to Highway 59, it's a 15-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking in on YouTube. Let me look one more time, see if there's anybody there before I continue talking a lot during the commercial break. And there is YouTube. All right, we got a few people looking in. Thank you for continuing to look. All right, let's see. What can I tell you about while waiting to go back on the radio? Let's see. A judge, you probably heard this story. It's made the rounds. A judge in Missouri having to resign after multiple violations of judicial ethics. Official documents reveal that the judge, Matthew Thornhill, wore an Elvis Presley wig in court. And people didn't like it. He was wearing an Elvis Presley wig in court. People didn't like it. The judge has also been known to make irrelevant references to Elvis during court proceedings and even play Elvis's music during litigant swear-ins. The judge would at times also mention his political affiliation or preferred candidates to litigants, witnesses, and attorneys, and even ask them if they'd seen the Thornhill for Judge campaign signs when they were out and about. So acting odd in the court has now got him to where he's going to have to resign. So that I'll just tell you this in case you were thinking about becoming a judge and acting fun or weird. I would find it disconcerting. I'm hoping to never end up in court for the rest of my life. I'm always nervous in courtrooms. even if I ain't done nothing. And the reason I'm nervous in courtrooms is because just on the whim of a judge or a jury or something, or your lawyers or whatever, your entire life can change. And it can have not much to do other than, did you pick the right lawyer? Did you have enough money to get the right lawyer? So I'm nervous about courtrooms, and I cannot imagine being worried about my future and have the judge start playing Elvis music or wear an Elvis wig. Let's see, what else can I tell you about? Back on the radio in about a minute. There are some experts urging people to start cashing in all of their coins. Because now, they're not making pennies anymore. Some experts believe that our future will have no coins at all. Now, I don't think that'll happen during my lifetime, but some of these people are encouraging you to slowly start getting rid of all coins that you would own. Now, I don't know. I don't keep a lot of coins. Do you have a barrel of them? All right, got to go back on the radio.
The price of Bitcoin will be $1 million in 2030. Well, I can't, but I can guarantee you'll save a lot of money on blinds at my company, Blindster.com. Free samples, free shipping, and guaranteed to fit. Shop at Blindster.com today.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It is 5:50. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes, and then more Uncle Henry Show. If you'd like to call in, if there's something you want to tell me about, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I know that I'm looking forward to college football this weekend, even though I know Alabama's playing a cream puff, allegedly. I like that. I'm looking forward to a game where I don't have to be nervous. Well, I guess you have to be nervous in any college football game. You hope that the good players, or any of the players, you hope they all don't get hurt or anything. So, but looking forward to a little college football tomorrow. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, Navco Bill.
Navco Bill, you are live on the radio.
Hey, agree with you on that Congress and all that kind of stuff, and that's a long, long story and call. But I wanted to try to lift your spirits a little bit today.
Good.
By remembering the great Rush Limbaugh.
Yes.
And he used to have Open Line Friday, where he took the greatest risk in talk radio by letting the amateur caller call in and decide the topics of the day. And I want to say that you go a step further. You fly without a call screener, like, walking a tightrope without a net, and you bring some of your callers into the studio. And I don't think Rush ever did that, not as a co-host or guest. So good job, Uncle Henry. Keep up the good work.
Well, Navco Bill, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind words.
Have a great weekend, Uncle Henry.
You too. Thank you. There he goes, Navco Bill. I appreciate that very, very much. No, I would never have thought that I would ever bring callers in the way that I have through the last 20 years. But back when I was given the morning show job on WNTM, News Radio 710 WNTM. It's something that I'd always wanted to do. Always wanted to do mornings on News Radio 710 WNTM. And I know you're thinking, well, why didn't you want to do something more consequential? Why didn't you shoot higher? Get off my back! That was just, look, I didn't know any better. But anyway, back to what I was telling you. I got the job, but there was no budget for a co-host. No budget for a co-host. For a lot of the years, no call screener. And so I thought, so what was I going to do? I was supposed to fill 4 hours in morning radio just talking, especially with my lack of education. So, of course, I decided in my mind that my co-host and my collaborator was going to be the listener, was going to be the caller. And so that was just the way, that was the only way I thought I could do it, because it's not always easy to fill 4 hours, 5 days a week, talking, especially if you get up one day and you ain't got much you want to talk about. So I've always thought of the listener and or caller as a collaborator. And yeah, and when you get a caller that can tell a good story or is a little bit out of the ordinary, yeah, why not invite them in? I've had some of the best shows I've had have been from people that I've met over the phone that were interesting to talk to. So, Navco Bill, I'm glad you like it. Most people in my company don't like that, but I'm glad that there are some listeners that do. So thank you very, very much for your praise there. Also, real quick before I'm out of time in this hour, and I'm almost out of time in this hour of the Uncle Henry Show, more to come after the top of the hour. Some people have said, Uncle Henry, are you worried about being replaced by artificial intelligence? I'm very proud to tell you that my company has decided that our new policy is to guarantee that we are guaranteed human at iHeartMedia. We will not ever, our company is pledged now to never play artificial intelligence music that features synthetic vocalists pretending to be human. That all of the podcasts from iHeartMedia are going to be guaranteed human beings. And that also extends to me. The on-air personalities are going to be guaranteed human being in our company. So thank you to my company for guaranteeing the human element now that AI is getting up in everything. All right, back with more Human Radio after the break.
Fox on Tech. Another gap between smartphones is bridged. There used to be a lot of consternation between the users of iPhone.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking on YouTube. Going to turn the camera off. There's more to come. I found a news story that I want to talk about a homeowners association getting into a big lawsuit with a homeowner. And so I'm going to get into that. But I'm going to do it off camera. Turning the camera off, the show continues on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant weekend and a wonderful tomorrow. I'll be back Monday on camera for you.
With Pixel 10, however, and not other Android devices. Both phones do need to be set to be discoverable by all devices, but Google insists the file transfers are secure and a direct transfer between devices, not some kind of workaround. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Clay's quote of the day so far is Michelle Obama, most overrated person in the world.
She's the anti-Patrick Swayze, who is the most underrated person in the world.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton.